I've never been one to stay in one country for too long. I guess I'm just not that kind of person. I love to move on, see new places, and meet different people. It's a good life, most of the time. When I need money, I get a fruit in Europe. You can pick fruit most of the year, which is pretty cool. Of course, it's not easy work, but the money is not bad. I like to go south in the winter. Life is easier in the sun, and Northern Europe can get very cold in the winter. Last year was a bit of an exception, though. In 1989, I was in Venice for October. I did some work in a hotel for 3 weeks, and then I began slowly moving south. I always take the train when I can. I love trains. You can walk around on a train and meet so many people. I left Venice and went on to Trieste. There, I got a cheap ticket for the slow train to Sofia in Bulgaria. This train goes all the way down through Yugoslavia and takes a long time, a day and a half. But that didn't matter to me. The train left Trieste at 9, on a Thursday morning. There weren't many people on the train at first, but at Zagreb, more people got on. 2 lovely girls went along the corridor past my carriage. They looked through the door, but they didn't come in. Then, an old woman came in, sat down, and went to sleep. The 2 girls came back along the corridor and looked into the carriage again. The train left Zagreb, and I looked out of the window for about 10 minutes. Then, I went to sleep too. When I opened my eyes again, the 2 girls were in the carriage. They looked so friendly, so I said hello. They said, "You're American." I said, "I'm Canadian, but you're American, right?" The taller girl said she smiled, "And you're 23, your name's Tom Walsh, you've got blue eyes, and your mom lives in Burnham, on UK. How did you know all that?" I asked. The second girl laughed. She looked at your passport. "It's in your coat pocket," she said. Oh, right. My coat was on the seat next to me. I took my passport out of my pocket and put it back in my bag. "Who are you?" I asked with a smile. "We're Melanie and Carol from Los Angeles, USA," they replied. "We love Europe. We know so many places in Britain, Holland, Denmark, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, Bulgaria, and Yugoslavia." "Greece, I'm going to Bulgaria now," I said. "I'll be there for about a month, and then I'm going south for the winter. Maybe I'll go to Cyprus or even North Africa." "Oh," they said, "we love the Bulgar area. Sofia's a great town, wonderful." "What do you do about money?" I asked. "Well, you know," Carol said with a smile. "Sometimes we get a little job." We chatted about this and that, but I was really curious to know more about you. "So, Tom, tell us about yourself. You're the guy with the blue eyes and the mum in Burnham-on-Sea, right? What are you up to these days?" I told them about my life and they were really nice. They were probably around 27 or 28, but I thought they were great. We had a great time chatting and laughing. I spent hours telling them all kinds of stories about my life. Some were true, some weren't, but they all made me laugh and they said I was a great guy. I asked them about Bulgaria because I didn't know much about it. They knew Sophia well and said, "Hey, Carol, Melanie." They also told me they were staying in Bela Palenka for a day or two, but let's go over to Sofia this weekend and meet Tom there. We can meet him on Saturday night at the Hotel Marmura. Yeah, it's a good hotel. Carol told me it's cheap but good. What do you think? Tom is great. I said, let's do that. The train was very slow, but we got to Belgrade at 6. It was 10 p.m. by the time we got to the station, and there were so many people getting off. The carriage was pretty empty, just me and the girls. Then the guard came by and checked our tickets, and he left again. Carol looked at Melanie and said, "Hey, Mel, why don't you and Tom go to the restaurant? I'm not hungry, and I want to sleep for an hour. Ear foods are so expensive on the train." I said, "I haven't got much money. I'm going to get a job in Sofia, just now." "Oh, Tom," Melanie said, "why didn't you tell us? You're a nice guy, right? We're okay for money this week. We can buy you a meal, of course." "We can," Carol said, "and look, in Sofia, we can take you to the best restaurant in town. It's a great place. We love it." What could I say? I was hungry. They had money. I didn't. So Melanie and I went to We went to a restaurant and had a lovely meal when we came back. Carol was still alone in the carriage, so Melanie put her feet up and went to sleep. Some more people got on the train and 2 old men came into our carriage. They looked at Melanie's feet on the seat and talked in loud voices. Carol laughed, and Melanie opened her eyes and sat up. "Are we nearly there?" she asked. Carol looked out of the window. "Out of the window, yeah, about half an hour I think." "Why are you getting off at Bela Palanka?" I asked. "What are you going to do there?" Melanie smiled. "Find a cheap hotel, meet people, meet new people, take a look at the town, you know, just for a day or two." Carol said, "But there's nothing there." "Oh well, you never know." Melanie laughed. "See you in Sofia. Right on Saturday night. The Hotel Marmura. Okay. 8 o'clock, oh, don't forget." Carol said with a smile. "I won't," I replied. "I'll see you there." The train came into Bela Palanka and stopped. The 2 girls got off and stood on the platform. They smiled at me through the window. "Saturday at 8 o'clock, Melanie said. "Okay," I called, but they couldn't hear me because of the noise in the station. They smiled again, picked up their bags, and walked away. Nice girls, I thought. I'm going to have a great time in Sofia. The train left Yugoslavia and crossed into Bulgaria at 2. It was about 00 in the morning when the train stopped at a little village. I don't remember the name, but it was really lovely. I ate an apple and looked out of the window. Suddenly, there were a lot of policemen on the train. Everybody in the carriage sat up and began to talk. "What's happening?" I said in Italian to the old man next to me. I don't know, he said in bad Italian. Perhaps they're looking for somebody. Then I saw the police taking some people off the train. Then 2 policemen came into the carriage. Our carriage was a tall, thin one and a short, fat one. They looked at everybody carefully and then they looked at me again. Come with us, please, the fat policeman said in English. What, me? I said. Why? And bring your bag with you, the tall policeman said. I began to ask a question, but policemen never like questions from young men with long hair, so I stayed quiet, picked up my bag, and went with them in the station building, where there were a lot of people. There were more policemen and some people from the train. They were all young people. I saw some who were afraid and some who were bored. The police looked in everybody's bags, and then the people went back to the train. My 2 policemen took me to a table. Your passport, please, the fat policeman said. And open your bag. They looked at my passport, and I opened my bag. There was a young policewoman with red hair at the next table. She had a nice face, so I smiled at her. She smiled back. The tall policeman suddenly said, "Ah, here are all your dirty shirts and clothes." And there they were, all out on the table. The policeman picked up my bag and turned it over onto the table. Out of my bag fell packet after packet of us American dollars, nice new dollars, $50 notes in big packets, a lot of money. My mouth opened and stayed open. I couldn't find my voice. I was suddenly a very interesting person, and a lot of police ran up to our table and stood behind me. Oh my, there's $200,000 here. The tall policeman said, his eyes twinkling. What an interesting bag, Mr. Tom Walsh. I found my voice again quickly, but it's not my bag. I shouted, my eyes twinkling, too. The policeman's face lit up. Well, he said, it's got your name on it. I looked, and of course there was my name. Yes, I said, of course it was my bag. How did you get $200,000? Oh, you can't bring US dollars into this country, sweetheart, the policeman said with a kind smile. He had short gray hair and little black eyes. He didn't smile once, but I didn't bring them. Oh, I didn't see them before in my life, I said quickly. Oh, they're not my dollars, I added. I never saw them before in my life. There was a lot of noise in the station. I looked out of the window and saw my train. The train started moving slowly. Hey, 5. I called out. That's my train. The tall policeman laughed. It was a great day for him. Oh, no, he said. You're not getting back on that train. You're staying here with us in our beautiful country. He smiled happily. So I never made it to Sofia on Saturday. I was pretty bummed about that. I wanted to have a little chat with Melanie and Carol. Asked them 1 or 2 questions. You know, you're a really nice guy, Tom. See you in Sofia. Okay, take you to the best restaurant in town. Yeah, great. And I never got down to Cyprus or North Africa that winter. Oh well, I live and learn. It's not an easy life in prison, but it's warm in winter, and the food's not bad. I'm meeting some interesting people. Hello, folks. I've got some news about a guy named Boris. He's from Georgia, USSR, and he's a great guy. When we get out of here, he and I are going to Australia. We'll probably go to Brisbane or Sydney. We'll get jobs on ships and start a new life. I'm feeling really optimistic about next year. The voiceover in this video is given by English. Just a heads up, uploading is totally forbidden.